Hey, good morning, everyone. You're watching Centerline Designs. If you're new to the channel, my name's Cole. This is the custom aluminum snowcat that the channel's currently been working on. But today, that's not what we're going to be doing. I have some big news and some fun things to share with you today. Our channel has finally received a sponsor. I've been working on this for a little while. I reached out to YesWelder. I showed them my channel and what I've been up to, and then I also sent them a little bit of a portfolio of stuff I've done prior to YouTube, and they were absolutely thrilled. They thought my creativity was amazing. They absolutely jumped at the chance to work with me. So they're officially my sponsor. I'm going to create some content for them for their YouTube channel, which will also get posted to mine after. But they sent me some products here I have down on the floor, and we're basically going to open it up, do some reviews, check out the machine they sent me. It's really exciting for me. I'm a small channel, and the fact that they were willing to work with me, I think just says I'm doing the right thing. So I'm going to get this unboxed. Let's meet back here on the table and play around. Here we are. I got everything unpacked. YesWelder is officially sponsoring the channel. I reached out to them a little while ago asking if they wanted a partner or sponsor. I was expecting a no. I'm a pretty small channel, as you're probably aware of. But they said yes. You know, it never hurts to ask. They were really excited with the content that I've created so far. I sent them a bit of a portfolio of things I've done prior to YouTube, interesting projects and such, and they were absolutely thrilled. They loved what I've done. They thought my creativity was really good. I was really excited to hear that because it kind of shows I'm on the right track with what I'm doing here. So they sent me their biggest machine. It is the CT 2050. By YesWelder. They're claiming it's a 7-in-1, which, you know, I'll give it to them. It's an AC TIG, a DC TIG, an AC Pulse TIG, DC Pulse TIG, stick welder, plasma cutter, and here's the kicker. The plasma cutter has an onboard air compressor to supply all the compressed air requirements it needs. So you do not need an external compressor for this. You can use it with one if you choose, but it is not required, which really excites me. It makes this a lot more portable. I have some work I need to do not in the shop, so I'm excited for that. It's a 240-volt machine with an adapter to 110. I don't believe the capabilities are that high on 110, so I'll definitely be using it on 220, 240. It comes with a bunch of stuff here. We have a nice 12-foot TIG torch. It has a thumb amp control. I'm really excited to see that. I haven't had that since my first machine I ever bought. You don't use it all the time necessarily. I always prefer a foot pedal, but when you're in really awkward areas and you need to get some things tacked, the thumb amp control with the start-stop button is really nice. So I'm excited to get that back. The TIG torch feels pretty good. I'm used to a much smaller torch right now. I do really close-up welding. I kind of hold it like a pencil, so I'm gonna have to get used to the way this feels in my hand. There's nothing wrong with it. It all just comes down to what you're used to. The plasma cutter, same thing, about a 12-foot cord. Pretty decent handle. You know, pretty standard plasma cutter. It's got all the hookups here. You hook it up. You're only supposed to have one or the other hooked up to the machine. It says not to have both. I guess you can damage the plasma cutter side of things. It comes with a lead for stick welding, a little whip here. It's not terribly long. I'll probably need to throw a extension in there for some of the work I need to get done. It's nice ends on these things. You know, the quick connect ends. It is a PVC coated cable. So up here in Canada, out in the cold, this is probably going to get pretty tight, but it is high strand, very flexible. The average guy working in a shop, it's not going to be a problem. Good plated copper jaws. What I really did like here is the ground clamp. That is a nice, solid cast brass ground with a really tight spring. I like to see that. Some of my other machines have pretty bad ground clamps. They also asked what else I was going to need. They have a cool selection of welding helmets on their website. If you check out YesWelder.com, they sell everything from a pair of gloves I asked for. I needed a new pair of TIG gloves. I've tried them on. They fit really nice. They're nice and snug. TIG gloves, are supposed to be nice and tight so you can feel that wire. I also asked for the foot pedal. That is an extra you have to purchase. Foot pedal for AC TIG in my shop is an absolute must. I also asked for some consumable kits. Got a plasma consumable kit. Looks like there's a ton of stuff in here. Keep you going for quite a while. Yeah, 20 tips, 20 electrodes, lots of stuff. Then I asked for an extra TIG torch kit. So I have a bunch of collets, nozzles, back caps, O-rings, gas diffusers. The basic setup does come with a few things to get you going, but I would recommend picking up some consumable kits as well. We have an air regulator filter that mounts on the back, and just all the other hoses and cables and fittings you're going to need. So I'm waiting on that welding helmet to show up. I'll show it later. I am impatient. I wanted to get going. YesWelder was really good to work with this. They were really excited in my content. I'm going to produce some content for them. That's the deal. I have a few jobs that I'm going to be working on after we get to play with this. They're going to show up on their YouTube channel. If you want to check out the YesWelder YouTube channel, it's quite a large channel. They have a ton of content on there. You're going to see some of my jobs show up there first. Eventually, they'll show up on mine as well. One of them is a snowcat related build. I'm going to go ahead and get all this stuff hooked up to the machine. I want to do some tests with it. Let's do a little bit of AC TIG, DC TIG. I think I have some stick electrodes around here. Maybe we'll run a few beads, do a quick review of the machine, make sure that it claims everything it says, and then we're going to switch gears and get some projects done. Okay, let's get this together. Okay, I'm a bit set up here. I got the TIG torch together, new tungsten ground down. I'm going to start with the foot pedal. It's what I'm most used to at this point in time. And I have a few new pieces of aluminum here. I'm just going to get them wire brushed, get that oxide layer off, wipe them down with acetone. I want to give this every reason to work properly. If you're not used to working with aluminum, it's the 3 C's, clean, clean, and clean. You got to get rid of that oxide layer. It's always good to use some acetone, get any dirt off. And then it's important to even clean your rods, your filler metal. Because as you'll watch, you see all that dirt on there? That black stuff? You want to keep that out of the weld. So we'll wipe that down, keep it nice and clean. I'm just going to do a basic lap joint here right now. Let's test it out. Now I must say, the consumable kit that came with this for the TIG torch, it has a lot of supplies. It's probably one of the biggest consumable kits I've received before. Lots of different collets, back caps, nozzles, gas lenses. I see a bunch of like Pyrex glass lenses for doing DC TIG, stainless, where you need a big, wide gas coverage on the weld. Right now I have a 332 tungsten in there. The marker was missing off the end, so I'm pretty sure it's lanthanated. It may be serrated. Running a number 6 gas lens here. So let's strike up an arc, see what happens. So I have my argon on, set to 12 to 15 CFH, I believe. We have AC TIG selected. I have the foot pedal on. There's a chart here that I can click through to control post flow, pre-gas, all that stuff, AC balance. I'm going to set at, let's turn it down because we have brand new metal. I'm going to go with 40%, see where that goes. I'm not used to playing with it too much with my other welder. Frequency is on 90 hertz. It will go all the way up to 250 hertz and down to 20 hertz. So let's go up to about 100 hertz, see what that gets us. I have it in just a manual setting right now. I'm going to dial it up to, this is 3/16 material, so I'm going to set this right up to 200. And remember, I actually control the amperage with my foot pedal. The screen is just the maximum I can go to. First things first, I'm going to purge out some gas through this line because it's full of oxygen. I can hear gas flow. Let's do the first arc. Okay, it's set on pulse. I'm gonna have to figure out how to turn it off pulse. Okay. Okay, pulse shouldn't be on. I like it. I'm not sure why pulse was on there. I turned it on, turned it back off, pulse went away. I was skeptical because I've heard of other reviews when this was sort of just in its beta phase that the machine didn't reach its output ratings. I can completely tell that it is. That wasn't taking very long to develop a puddle on 3/16, which is more the maximum capacity of this machine. And I'll grab the camera here. I was very happy with the way that works. Do you see that initial puddle? I mean, I'm just getting used to it. That was the first strike of an arc. And that looks pretty decent. There's a little bit of dirt there. That's not so much the machine. I'm going to play with some settings here. I'm going to turn balance up, down. We're going to play with frequency and see where that gets us. Okay, so I'm going to turn the balance up, which is going to put more heat towards the torch. It's more cleaning action. If you turn balance down, it's better for cleaner materials. A higher balance is better for dirtier materials. And we were on 100 or 85 hertz. Let's go up to 150. We should hear the difference there. Woo! Tungsten did not like that. Okay, I gotta regrind this. I primarily AC TIG. My shop specializes in aluminum welding. So this is what I'm starting with because it is what I am most comfortable with. Now, every machine is different. So despite me being quite familiar with the machine I've been using previous to this, it's going to take me a little bit of learning to dial this in to the way I like it. So let's try this again. I got that cleaning action back down, which means I should have some more heat into the part, less in the tungsten. I burnt that tungsten up real fast. We still running that 150 hertz. You can hear that really high-pitched buzzing. 100 sounded pretty good. I'm going to check some arcs and we'll see how we go. Again, really happy with that. I don't think I need to be running it at 150 hertz. There's very little difference. It is just more annoying. Okay, we got that on 100 hertz. Okay, let's Try that again, or let's try an auto mode here. So there's a thing called AC Smart TIG. I tell it flat, the thickness. So that's telling me 160 amps is what I should be using for 3/16. I'm not sure I fully agree with that. What are we running? 30 balance, 85 hertz. Well, let's see. I think I need to run more current than that, but that's my preference. Again, pretty happy with that. Let me bring you in. That was more than enough amperage for what I was doing there. That part was pretty small and it's already up to temperature. So I had no trouble laying that in. As you can see, that's quite acceptable. It was keyholing in pretty good. So decent penetration. Let's try some other materials. Once I get my new helmet from YesWelder, I'm going to get things set up so that I can get some action welding shots using the lens out of this helmet. Unfortunately for now, I'm down to just one helmet, so I can't get you some really nice action shots of the actual puddle and me laying in filler rod. I know that would be really nice to see. I'm really happy with the results here. I'm going to go down to significantly thinner material on a butt joint. I have 60 thou sheet here. I dropped down to a 1/8 filler rod. No, actually, sorry. I dropped down to a 1/16 filler rod. I haven't changed my tungsten. Everything is still hot here. I don't really feel like going through that. 332 is the typical I use. So I'm going to continue with that. I've pretty much left settings the way they are at 160 amps, 100 hertz. So I'm going to run a bead here on a butt joint. Let's check it out. That was way too hot. Okay, let's turn that down to about 130. Okay, that is still on the hot side. Okay, 100 amps. Like I say, I'm not used to this machine. It's taken some time for me to figure it out. The sensitivity on the foot pedal is different than what I'm used to. So okay, it has starting amps as 30. I'm going to drop that down because I'm finding I don't have enough sensitivity where I want it. And let's see if that helps us out. Still running way too hot. As you can see, it's having no problem penetrating there. I'm gonna go cut this. Let's try this again. Like I said before, I'm cheating here. I haven't changed my tungsten size, which I probably should, but I'm confident we can get the results I want. Okay, let's try that. Beautiful. I'm so happy with that. Any imperfections in this right now is me, not that. You can see the little process I've gone through to dialing this in. I'm going to bring the camera in for a little close-up. I'm used to leaving my machine set high and having all the variability in the foot pedal. This doesn't quite have that feature. You've got to get a little closer with your actual ampacity of the machine so that the foot pedal's range is closer to what you want. Not a problem at all. It's just not what I'm used to. Let's bring you in. I mean, take a look at that. I spent 5 minutes, got it dialed in. You can see I left the amperage way too high, thinking I can control it with the foot pedal. And then I dialed it down, played with a few settings. Look at that. It's pretty hot, but I think I can get it flipped over here. I am happy with that. That is thin material. I'm not usually welding that thin. That's 1/16 of an inch. So, first impressions, I really like that. First impressions of the AC TIG is I really like the control and how easy the control is. I'm used to dialing things in the exact way I want it. They have the Smart TIG feature where you just tell it the position, the thickness of material, and it's going to set up all the parameters for you. I'm sure that's great for most people. I'm used to dialing the settings myself, so I'll probably continue to do that and fiddle with it. But you know, those initial welds on thick metal, 100% it's getting the ampacity I need. I picked up that puddle and brought it along really quickly on this thicker material. Fantastic, cleaning action's great. Like I said before, any imperfections in this is me, not this. The thinner material, again, just getting used to the welder. As you can see, I quickly dialed it in. That was a very thin butt joint. Penetration was 100%. Not much more you can ask for with that. The only thing I want to do is try out that thumb amp control with the AC TIG. So I'm going to set that up, swap out the foot pedal, and then we can switch gears. I'll test a little bit of DC TIG. Let's check it out. That's probably all I'm going to go with this. I don't really feel like testing out the stick welding or the plasma cutting right now. I have some jobs that I'm going to be using those with this machine in the future here, so I'll probably just leave that till then. I've got everything changed around. We have the amp control hooked up here. Forgive me, I'm a little rusty with it. I have not used a thumb control in a while. Hopefully I don't embarrass myself, but let's give it a shot. I'm excited for that. It's a feature I have honestly missed. It's you don't use it all the time, but when you need it, you need it. So I'm gonna dial this back up. We're running some heavy material again. Dial it up to 180. And let's see how this functions. Interesting. So I'd kind of heard about this in one of the other reviews. It seems as though you don't actually have any amperage control here. There's 3 settings for torch mode: 2T, which the button's just momentary. You have 4T, so the button is on, then a click again to turn off. And then you have foot pedal mode. If I put it in foot pedal mode, I have to hold the button down, and then I have amperage control, but it doesn't feel like I get full amperage. Whereas in the other modes, it's just exactly to what the welder's set at. So I'm going to have to find out if that's the way this is designed or not. If it is, it's still okay. You have an on-off button on your torch, which is, you know, good for tacking, but you don't actually have the adjustability of the thumb wheel to really dial your weld in as you're going so far on the AC side. So hopefully that's not the case. We'll find out. But let's turn this up a little bit. Put it at 4T, and let's just lay a bead using this. So we have a constant amperage. You know what? Having a finger control is better than nothing. I hope that it does have adjustability with that thumb wheel, but results are still really nice. That's going to be handier to get some tacking done in odd positions versus the foot pedal. I'll show you this out. The end, something happened there. I don't know if I touched or it turned off real fast. I might have to adjust my post flow and everything, but that is laying down really nicely. Honestly, couldn't be happier with that quality. So in terms of actual quality, pretty happy with the results. So that's about all the testing I'm going to do with the AC TIG right now. I plan on doing lots of jobs with this machine. Going to continue to use it on the Snowcat build. I'm going to flip this over. Let's do a little bit of DC TIG. I don't do a lot of DC TIG myself, but see what it can do. Okay, I've got some steel set up here. I prepped. I have a new filler rod. Now, DC TIG is not what I do the most of. I'm not the best at it. I don't pretend to be. I'm an aluminum guy. That's what my shop does. But let's check what this can do. So I'm running a 332 tungsten again. I changed to a tungsten that I use for steel, reground it. I set the welder. Probably gonna have to play with that. I'm gonna use the foot pedal again. So let's check out what we can do here. If you're new to TIG welding, the number one thing I can tell you is be comfortable. Okay, I'm gonna need a little more on that. Not too shabby. I feel like I want some more though. Actually, I'm going to change to a thinner filler rod. That felt like too much to me. Okay, I have a 1/16 rod. I think that's going to feel a little bit better. The weld puddle is not as large as I'm used to with aluminum. So let's see what we can do here. I am really liking this. It is smooth. Now that I have enough amperage set on it, it's not sticky. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Might not do DC TIG a lot. little bit of unsteadiness there. The start was a little cold, but that midsection really started to lay in very nice. And then it started to get a little hot at the end. So I'd have to keep playing with settings a little bit, but that's awesome. Get you a closer view. Okay, keep in mind, I don't DC TIG a lot, but start was cold. Where am I? Start was cold. As you can see, it was wandering around. I wasn't laying in. Right about the midsection, that was perfect. I had the temperature dialed in, and then it started to get a little hot and wash out on me. So I should have backed off there. But that midsection, that's perfect. That's what I want to see. So if I practice a little more, I'm sure I can make that consistent 100% of the time. But I don't really care because I weld aluminum. So there you go. The DC TIG laid in beautifully. Once I got the temperature set, I was having no problems. Just getting myself used to the machine. Let's go ahead, swap this over. I want to lay some beads with that stick welder. It's been a little while since I've run stick. And I'm going to need to with this machine shortly. We have some projects we got to do with the stick and the plasma cutting side. So let's swap that out and I'll meet you back here. Got the machine swapped over for some stick welding. I think a lot of people these days assume stick welding is kind of an obsolete old process. That's really not the case. Everyone's jumping towards, wire feed MIG welders in their home garage because it makes it quick and easy for anyone to weld. However, there's something that I want to bring to everyone's attention, and you can make a really nice looking weld with a MIG welder pretty easily, but the actual strength behind that may not be there. It doesn't have the dig or the penetration that a stick can have. Obviously, if you're bad at either process, the quality's not there. But in my experience, a bad looking stick weld can often be stronger than a great looking MIG weld. So stick does have a place. I'm going to be doing a bunch of stick welding. I have some W16 by 45 I-beam that I need to splice together and laminate some beams for that house lift we're doing next year. So I'm going to be stick welding that because I need to ensure that I have good penetration and the strength. Anyways, back to this. Let's test out the stick feature of this. I hear it's supposed to have like a hot start, which is nice because often inverter machines for stick welding, the arc start characteristics can have some difficulties because the SCRs and stuff like that run the DC side of this machine when it's running stick have a bit of lag time to start the arc, whereas the old type of welding machines that have rotating mass, when you go to start that arc, those old bullet welders, they have so much mass spinning, or an engine driven welder, that you go to start the arc and it doesn't miss a beat. It is pumping amps out as soon as you need them. Whereas inverters tend to have a bit of lag, a ramp up time in the firing of the SCRs to get the current to the part. So that's sometimes typical of inverter based machines. Now, they often will use a hot start, so it will shoot above your current setting for a short period of time to establish that arc, and then ramp down to your setting to help you lay that bead consistently. So anyways, enough talking, let's get to it. Okay, let's swap this out to stick. I believe I have a 332 here, so I'm going to run that about 85 amps. Now I do see an arc force and a hot start. So arc force should be our dig. It's 0 to 40. Hot start, we have a time of 0.3 seconds. Let's turn that to 0.6. And 85 amps. Arc force, I'm gonna have to read up on that. Set it in the middle. All right, let's see how it goes. Now, I'm going to use my other gloves. They're old, dirty. I'm going to save these for my nice, clean aluminum work. Not too bad, definitely hot. Let's turn arc force down. Let's turn hot start to about halfway. We're at 90 amps. Let's see where that gets us. Not too bad, really. All right, folks, I'm going to leave the video there. I am super happy that YesWelder agreed to sponsor me. Again, I was very surprised. It never hurts to ask. They jumped at the chance. They sent me, so far, what feels like a phenomenal machine, the CT 2050. It's a very affordable price, 7-in-1. I have more features to test out in the videos to come, but I need to go get some work done for the rest of the day and shoot some videos using this machine. So I'll leave it there. Thanks for watching. Keep your eyes out for future content. Also, go check out YesWelders' YouTube channel. They have a ton of content there. You're going to see some upcoming videos posted on there from me, and then they'll also be on my channel after the fact. Again, thanks for watching. I'll see you soon.